Hello and welcome to the last day of September. This is the TONMO Octopodcast, episode number 20. We're going to cover the news, just me this week. We'll do a short one, but we need to cover what happened in the month of September, so let's get to it. The South Australian government grapples with whether it should issue daily bloom updates during the summer. So taking a closer look into it, essentially, there's a dangerous algae bloom that affects the protected giant cuttlefish in the waters of South Australia. And so they devised this plan to deploy bubble curtains, which are little air bubbles that are let out from the bottom of pipes to basically protect these cuttlefish from intruders or any kind of disruptions during the all-important mating season for these giant cuttlefish, which are amazing creatures, of course. And so the South Australian government is well known, actually, for protecting the Whyalla area of cuttlefish breeding. There are annual events that happen, and it's kind of a big deal and requires protection in order to ensure that these populations don't just get wiped out from this algae bloom that can kill the eggs and offspring of this annual cuttlefish mating event. As of the time of this recording, they haven't yet deployed this bubble curtain. The setup basically involves a 200 by 100 meter barrier of air bubbles, but these air bubbles are designed to block the algae without harming the ecosystem. So it's pretty ingenious, and it might not even need to activate if the bloom shifts its location. It's a little bit of a mystery as to why they keep returning to the same area to mate and have their offspring. But yeah, the cuttlefish species is Sepia apama, but this year's bloom puts their habitat at risk, and so that's the purpose of this air bubble system. So it's a conservation effort. There's a lot of politics wrapped up around it. A lot of spokespeople having to talk to the policies that are enacted and the cost associated with it. So that's how it gets picked up by Octobot when it's culling the news on a regular basis. So we'll follow that story and we'll see what happens in October. Next, there's a new species of octopus that emerged from Australia's deep waters. This is Opistiotuthis carnarvonensis. So this was collected actually during a 2022 expedition. And this is a serrate or Dumbo octopus, as it's commonly known. So this octopus is about 4 centimeters across. It has oversized eyes, which helps with low light visibility and hunting. And it has these striking blood red tentacles, as they are described. It inhabits depths of 1,000 to 1,500 meters. And like many Dumbo octopuses do, they will flatten like a pancake, or they'll do an umbrella pose. This small little guy feeds on small worms and crustaceans. There's no ink sac in this species, and it's a slow reproducer, which is pretty common for deep sea cephalopods. There were many finds in this particular voyage, and this cephalopod had been identified. So this aspect is not necessarily news, but I think it's the naming of the species that kind of got it on the news radar for the month of September. So welcome to the carnivron flapjack octopus. Welcome to the club. Okay, let's go to aquarium news. The Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach reports that their giant Pacific octopus, Ghost, has entered senescence. She had laid up to 74,000 unfertilized eggs, meaning there are no eye spots in those eggs. They are, and they won't grow and hatch. They're just empty white egg cases. The fact that they're unfertilized doesn't change the trajectory of the mother's life. The mother still tends to those eggs as if they were fertilized. They continue dedicating all their time and energy to blowing, air quote, blowing water through their siphon over the egg sacs to keep them clean, so tending to them, neglecting nourishment for herself. So the mother octopus typically will do nothing but care for the eggs themselves, and they enter what's called senescence, where they turn white and become very frail, and they kind of collapse within themselves, if you will. It becomes very apparent. Their behaviors change. They really kind of minimize in terms of their presence. And it's a sad process, of course, and that's what happened to Ghost. Every once in a while we get a news story that deals with a fisherman who has hooked a squid on its fishing line, proudly pulls it in and holds it up, and then gets squirted in the face with ink. So we have another one of those. This is from Rommel Pagan from the Philippines. He reeled in a 12-kilogram bright orange red squid, and basically got a face full of squid ink, which is mostly melanin based. It's very dark hued, obviously, and it's a classic escape tactic used against predators. And so Rommel learned that the hard way. So he posted that on Instagram, and he's unfazed and thankful for the catch. This next one surprised me a lot. I wasn't really sure if I could believe it, and I had to ask our own Kevin Byland, who is an awesome member of TONMO's staff, and he affirmed the story that it's quite believable. There is a new species of ammonite that was found by way of a fossil in Hokkaido, Japan. It dates to 85 million years ago. It's a heteromorph ammonite, and it features this elongated and coiled shell, about 1 to 4 centimeters tall. 13 specimens were collected. Incredible fossil, really, and a very cool discovery. Last story having to do with ecology and fishing to some level. So there's a, quote, octopus invasion. This has been happening a lot this year in England. There's been a lot of stories about this, and there's another one here in September, particularly in Devon and Cornwall. A common octopus invasion, so meaning Octopus vulgaris being the species, are just completely flooding fishing nets, with crews landing 12,000 tons from January to August alone. But it's a boon for some, but it's also a bane for shellfish harvesters, because these octopuses raid pots like lobsters and crabs that are being caught in those traps. And so it's basically all about octopuses. They've taken over the fishing area throughout the waters of England, and that's really impacting the fisheries here in the year 2025. So we'll continue to follow that story, I'm sure, through the end of the year. That's all for this month. Thanks for joining. We'll talk again next month.